Welcome everyone. Ken and I are here today to introduce our wines for the 2026 Spring Club release. So let's get into it.
All right. This is 2025 vintage of Winni White. Ben and I have decided to combine some of the best aspects of a few of our smaller trial batches of whites, our Ozark Plum and our Moody Mountain, which included cantaloupes, into this new formulation. We also removed the peaches so that the peaches make up the bulk of Lake House White and our Meredith Bay White. So we wanted to make this one without peaches to give three distinctive white wines. This is primarily unripe tomatoes and locally derived cantaloupe.
What a combination.
What a combination.
And you can smell
Also
those
includes some plums,
Mhm.
some rhubarb, and some nectarines, all locally grown.
Nice.
The next one is newly released 2022 Lake House White. We have a few cases left of our 21 that we've been enjoying. The 22 represents some progress in how we mature our wild forage rose hips. These are rose hips that we collect wild forage for down at the seashore, locally grown peaches, an heirloom variety of rhubarb, and a special fruit called a quince. These are all fermented and blended, aged partially in barrel for many months, and blended with a portion that's maintained in stainless steel to get sort of the best of both worlds. Wow, this has got such an incredible aroma. I really love the way the rose hips come out on this vintage. Nice vintage. The one red wine that we have in this collection is our 2022, newly released 2022 Petite Blue. This was actually made in late 23 from 2022 harvested wild blueberries. So the age of these wines is always the age of the harvest of the key fruit. Wild blueberries, aged in stainless steel tank with some toasted oak staves in there, designed to bring forward the fruity notes of the wild blueberries that we use. Very easy drinking, light summer red, if you will.
Natural sweetener. Now, one of my absolute favorites here.
Yeah, this is a fun wine. We've done this once before. This is the 2024 vintage of our Heirloom Crabapple, aged in very special barrels that we get from Tamworth Distillery, where they've aged a VSOP apple brandy for up to 8 years. One of the barrels had an 8-year mark on it that we received.
Wow.
So this is our 2024 Heirloom Crabapple wine aged in those barrels. It's dry, it's complex. You get some of those notes from the apple brandy marrying with that bright freshness of the Dolgo Crabapple. What a beautiful thing.
This one.
Our classic Winnipesaukee Rosé. This has become one of our most popular wines. This came into existence back in 2015 when we had a crop failure of Dolgo Crabapples. So we decided to make a cranapple wine to help support where we were missing our crabapple, our heirloom crabapple wine. This is made from locally pressed fresh apple cider from Apple Hill Farm down outside of Concord. Some heirloom cider apples called Kingston Black are ground up and floated in the cider along with a bunch of cranberries from Cape Cod. And those all ferment together.
You can really smell those Cape Cod cranberries.
Yeah.
See what
It comes out nice and bright. There's a little touch of back sweetening to this wine to balance some of that brightness from the cranberries. Extremely food friendly. We have this in 3 different formats. This is our classic still rosé. We also have it as a full champagne and in cans as a sparkling rosé. Great for the summertime out on the boat.
Yes. Those cans are my favorite way to drink this one. All right, to finish up, we have a brand new wine, the Be Free.
This has got a little story behind it. Our good friends at Genuine Local Packaging Group in Laconia had a bunch of wildflower honey from upstate New York for a vendor in Vermont, but the pH of the honey was too high for them, for their vendors. So they had it, they needed to find a home for it. They called me up because we knew that we made mead here. And I said, sure. They gave it to us free,
Thank you,
which was fantastic. And so we fermented this honey as a straight show mead. So it's just honey and water and yeast that comprise this mead. But along the way, we were able to acquire some very special barrels. These barrels started their life back at Tamworth Distillery as bourbon barrels. Those barrels were taken, the liquid was taken out, and those barrels went to Stoneface Brewery, and they put a Russian Imperial Stout in these barrels. I'm sure that tasted fantastic. I've not yet had that. And then those barrels came here, and we aged this mead in those barrels for a couple of months. This is not 100% gluten-free because it did have a beer in it previously. This has a little bit of residual sweetness to it that I think really marries nicely with the notes that came from these barrels.
So much wildflower just in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Advantages to you. And that's coming out on April 18th. That's the date of our club release. And stick around for the party on Sunday, April 19th. That's going to be going from 6 to 8 p.m. up in the loft. And make sure to RSVP online to make sure you save a spot. We only have so much space in the loft, of course.
It's a lot of fun. We all look forward to seeing you back at the party.
Yes.
We'll raffle off some specialty items. And when you do come to pick up your club, starting on April 18th, please bring along your bags, and we'll fill them up.
Yeah. And worth mentioning, for the club members who are shipping their wine, keep in mind, if you make it to a full case, we have reduced the price of shipping to help you guys out. So,
Fantastic.
thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful spring.